What if the thing squeezing your wallet right now isn't your spending habits at all? Sit with that for a second. Because here's what's strange. You're not buying more branded bags, you're not eating out every night, you're not throwing money at things you don't need. And yet, somehow, the money still disappears faster than it used to, right? Most people blame themselves first. Not enough discipline, not enough hustle. But what if the squeeze isn't really coming from one direction? What if it's coming from two directions at once and nobody's told you that yet? Let's talk about it. Picture a normal Tuesday. You wake up, grab a quick breakfast near the MRT, top in, squeeze onto the train with everyone else heading to the CBD. By the time you reach your desk, you've already spent more than you would have 5 years ago. Same coffee, same bus fare, same everything, just more expensive. That's side one, cost of living creeping upward quietly, month after month. Hawker center prices, grocery prices, even a simple plate of chicken rice doesn't feel simple anymore. Now here's side two, and this is the part people don't talk about enough. Your salary isn't keeping pace. Not because you're bad at your job, not because you're lazy, it's because wage growth for a huge portion of middle-income earners in Singapore has been slow and uneven, especially once you account for inflation. So you're not just paying more, you're earning, in real terms, roughly the same or sometimes even less than before. Two forces, one from prices rising, one from income stalling, and you're caught right in the middle. Literally, the middle class, squeezed from both sides like a sandwich nobody asked to be part of. But here's where it gets interesting. Most people assume the middle class is squeezed because of bad decisions, too much spending on lifestyle, too many subscriptions, too much dining out. And sure, that plays a small role for some people, but that's not the real story. The real story is structural, and it's bigger than any single household. Let's break down what's actually happening. First, housing. An HDB flat used to represent a stable, predictable milestone. Save for a few years, get your BTO, move in, build equity slowly. But resale prices have climbed sharply, and for many young couples, even BTO flats now come with longer waiting times and higher price tags than a decade ago. So the first big financial commitment of adult life now eats a much larger chunk of income than before. Second, healthcare and daily costs. Small increases here and there don't feel dramatic individually. $1 more for lunch, $2 more for groceries. But stack those small increases across every category of spending, every single month for years, and suddenly your money buys noticeably less than it used to. Third, and this is the one people miss completely, lifestyle expectations haven't adjusted downward even though purchasing power has. Because on social media and conversations and comparisons with peers, the standard of what a normal middle-class life looks like keeps rising. Nicer holidays, newer phones, better cars. So people aren't just fighting inflation, they're fighting a moving target of what feels normal. Now, here's where most people completely misunderstand this. They think the solution is simply earn more, spend less, which sounds reasonable, but it misses something important. If both sides of the squeeze are structural, rising costs and slow wage growth, then pure budgeting alone doesn't fix the underlying problem. It just helps you survive the squeeze a little longer. So what actually helps? This is where it shifts from a scary problem to something you can actually act on. Think of your financial life like a bridge. On one side is your income, on the other side is your expenses. And in the middle of Singapore's economy right now, that bridge is under more pressure than it used to be. Most people try to strengthen the bridge by just cutting expenses. Fewer bubble teas, fewer taxis. And sure, that helps a little. But the more powerful move is building a third pillar entirely, one that doesn't depend on your salary staying still or prices staying calm. That third pillar is your investable capital, your CPF growing quietly in the background, your savings consistently placed into low-cost, diversified investments like broad market ETFs, growing over time, regardless of what your monthly payslip says. Here's a simple way to picture it. Imagine two friends. Both earn the same salary, Both face the same rising cost of living. One of them keeps all their extra savings sitting in a normal bank account, watching it slowly lose purchasing power to inflation. The other consistently invests a portion, even a small portion, into diversified assets every single month. 10 years later, they are not in the same position anymore, not even close. Because compounding doesn't care whether prices went up this year. It doesn't care whether your bonus was smaller than expected. It just keeps working quietly, in the background, turning small, consistent contributions into something significantly larger over time. This is the mindset shift middle-income Singaporeans need right now. Not despair about being squeezed, not blind optimism either, just a clear, honest understanding. The squeeze is real, it's structural, and reacting to it with pure spending cuts alone isn't enough. The households that come out ahead over the next 10 years won't necessarily be the ones who earned the most. They'll be the ones who understood this squeeze early, adjusted their approach, and built that third pillar before they were forced to. So, here's the honest truth. Singapore's middle class isn't being squeezed because people are careless. It's being squeezed because the economy has shifted, costs have risen structurally, and income growth hasn't kept pace for a large portion of workers. That's not something a single person caused, and it's not something a single person can fully control. But what you can control is your response to it. You can keep hoping the squeeze eases on its own, or you can start building that third pillar today, quietly, consistently, the same way compounding rewards patience over panic. Because the number on your payslip doesn't decide your future. Your habits do. And the best time to start building those habits was years ago. The second best time is now. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. What's one small money habit you're going to change after watching this video? Share it in the comments. I read everyone, and your idea might help someone else too. If you found this video useful, a quick like and subscribe really helps the channel reach more people who want to make smarter financial decisions. Thanks so much for spending a few minutes with me today. Until next time, keep building wealth one smart decision at a time.